today we've got the MX5 in. This is a 2011 plate. It's got this water leak on it. The footwell on the passenger side is just full of water. It's got a really bad leak on it, or it seems to be a bad leak. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on with it. So we've got a water leak here. Now suspecting it's coming in through here somehow and going down. If we have a look inside, I'll show you where it's running in. Now, the carpets in here are absolutely soaking. We're really wet. It's yeah. And if we look up here, you can see there's rust coming off the nut. We've got drips coming down on the plastic. This here all looks a bit rusty. And we'll trace that back, but by all accounts it is going to be that plug at the top, and this is, so this is really wet, but well, we'll get the trims off and then we'll have a good look and see what we can find. Again, in there you can see there's a bit of rust at the top there, which it looks like it's dripping. You can see how the rust has formed on that metal there, so it's definitely coming in up top somewhere. So first thing we've got to do is to remove this scuttle panel. Just got a couple of screwdrivers, Phillips, small Phillips and a little dinky one. So let's see if we can get at it. We'll pop this out first. That's rid of the clip there, a little blanking plate. Then we could just get a screwdriver in and remove this screw. This is the only screw holding this scuttle panel on. It's just a few clips, but yes, it's the only screw. So now we've got the screw out there, we should be able to pull this back and release it. Just pop a little screwdriver in the gap there, just give it a little twist. Out that pops there. You'll see in a minute when I get it off what that clip actually is. It's just a little round one that pops through the two panels. Release this rubber, just give that a little, it's got these little like elongated clips, you just pull them out, that'll separate that, move that away. We've also got the washer jet there, which has got a joiner in it, just here, so we can separate that joiner, like so, and then this trim now will come away. I'll put that there for a minute. Which now reveals the little monkey that's given us all this problem, which is this little fella here. So this is the issue. This seal here, it's allowing water. It's getting in behind the. Well, the water runs down the the water runs down the window screen, and it also comes down this channel here. It gets underneath here, and everything's flowing past this clip. And the little rubber seal, it's got cracks in it, and you see it's loose, and the water is just getting straight past it and going down into the car. So what we'll do is we'll remove that, we'll give it a really good clean and dry, and then refit it. Right, let's see how tight it is to get it out. If I can do it without breaking it, that'd be really good news. These pliers are great for pulling out clips and stuff. They are woodworkers' pliers for pulling out nails from wood, but they do work well on these clips. It don't want to give up easy. It's really putting up a battle, but I can really get hold of it with these pliers. There we go, it's coming. It's tight. Oh, there it comes. There it is. But you can see from that how this rubber is just completely perished and gone all crappy and horrible. So we'll get rid of that for starters. We don't want that rubber seal. Let's bin that off. We'll give this a good clean and dry. Yeah, and that'll go back in again. The clips are all good on it still. So what we'll do, like, we'll bond this in with silicone, get it back in the hole, make sure this is clean and dry. So through this hole now I can actually see what we could see from underneath. I can see the main support bar across the front of the bulkhead on the inside of the car. So it's a direct route straight into that Footwell channel. Right, so I've got the grind wipes. These are brilliant for cleaning off any dirt, debris. If there's any contaminants there, these will shift them. And we'll wipe all this down around here. Let's clean it up as best as we can. I'll pop links in the description for the grind wipes, the silicone, and any tools used. They're not that expensive, these grind wipes, and they're absolutely fantastic for getting rid of oil, grease, silicone residue and everything. And also the clip here, we're going to give this a really good clean as well. Make sure there's no cracks in that, which there's not there. That's a solid piece, so it's that's all good. But we do need, for silicone to stick, this has got to be absolutely spotless. Now you could go to Mazda, get a new clip, but to be fair, siliconing it in is probably better than what the original clip was, because it's actually bonded it to the car. It's going to be a far superior grip once it's gone off. That looks pretty good. Let's get it all dried off, because it won't stick if it's got any moisture there at all. So let's give it a good clean, a good dry down. Got a bit of the paper towel. Schoolboy error, look, just lifted the wiper blade and the clips dropped down into the bulkhead. Luckily managed to find it straight away. That could have been a disaster had it gone down behind the engine somewhere. Also, looking at this, I'd say this has had some bodywork done on it at some point. The paintwork on here, it's got no primer, it's literally a straight black paint onto this. I think this has been repainted. You can see there's a few different layers, and a bit of it keeps flaking away. So yeah, I think it's definitely had some paintwork done on it at some point, which again is probably not helped things if this has been removed before and replaced. Yeah, okay, let's get some silicone all around here and we'll get this clip back in and squidge it into that. Let's make sure that we're really dry inside as well. We don't want any moisture around that once we've got the silicone it in. Got the silicone in the gun, we'll just squirt a bit of that out first of all. We'll get that round the top of there. What a nice cover over those bits where the paint's a bit thin. Got a really good blob around that, and also Honour's clip here as well. Let's get some around this, so as we push that in, it's really going to bond to the car. Yeah, more than enough on that. And then we can squidge that back in the hole again. Get that in nicely. Get the clip in. Boom, there it goes. Look, really good. A really good clip in as it goes. And what we're going to do now is give this an extra smoothing all the way around. Yeah, look at that. Now, that is not going to leak. That now is not going to leak in a month of Sundays. We've got a really good seal around that. When that goes off, it's going to be rock solid in there and not going to give us any problems at all in the future. So while that's going off, it's going to give us a chance to dry out the carpets. So let's go inside, we'll get the carpet lifted, we'll take the trim off and stuff, and we'll give it a really good dry out. Just like I say, it'll give us a chance for this to go off while we're doing that as well, so sitting around doing nothing. Right, and so the first thing we've got to do is to get the kick panel out of the way so we can actually lift the carpet to get some drying, get some air blowing under it, get it dried out. These are just held on with a few clips, so we can give it a wiggle, get his fingers behind it, underneath the trim there, and just give it a little pull. Away it comes, gently does it, just easing it along, and out it pops. As you can see there, it's just little pop clips that hold it in. That's all we've got there. So once that's out of the way, we can now see the carpet and we can start to work that away. I can move this little A-pillar trim as well if we need to, just to help us get it out. I'll see if I can lift it without doing that. The water is all sat this side here. Okay, so we've got this trim here. What we can do is grab hold of this there and just pull that back, the rubber, and then we can pop that little clip out there, get that out of the way if we need to. There's a little pop clip at the bottom. We just got to pull the centre cap out of that. We'll get a little screwdriver in there, get a little screwdriver in the centre of that and pop that back, and then the clip will come out like that. Just a little pop clip. Pull that out again, just a little pop clip on the top. And now that's out the way there, we should now be able to lift the carpet up. And now the carpet is able to be lifted up and we can get in there and dry this out. So let's see how bad it is under here. Do you know what? Don't be fooled by first impressions, have a good look. This is dry, which is nice. The carpet has actually got a rubber back to it, so the water hasn't really got underneath. It's not done too bad, it's mainly stayed in the top, which is that's a great thing. Now had it have, yeah, so that's not too bad, it's all pretty good. Had we left this, had we not got on top of this as quick as we have, this will have just filled with water eventually. But as it happens, it's pretty dry under here. So it's good news, the padding's dry. We'll get the heater in here, we'll dry out all this carpet, and jobs are good in. So brilliant news, brilliant. That's really good. I needed to check that though, peace of mind, to make sure that it wasn't really wet under there, because you know, at some point they can fill right up.
I just start to move my hand down the side, and I find where it's just ran down and it's damp down there now. So yeah, it's not good. Seat's gonna have to come out.
Well, so yeah, the water's come in. It's not really soaked up, but it has ran back slightly to just down here. There's a bit of water just sitting. So as we pull that back, you can see where the water's coming. It's just started to gather a little bit down here, right on this, in this nook down here. Just pull that off the retainer out there as well, so it gives it a bit more dry. So we want to make sure that this is completely dried out, we don't want to have any repercussions, because obviously the inside of the car's steaming up. As soon as it warms up, the moisture is coming in and steaming the windows. So what, I'm going to whip the seat out. We can lift that carpet up and give it, just really make sure it's dry underneath. It's nice and easy to take this out. We've just got 4 mounting bolts, 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and then the seat will come out. These are, looking at that, about, I think, the 14mm bolts. We'll go with the 2 back ones first. So we just slide the seat. Let's just get rid of all my tools off here and clips. That's going to be the first thing. So let's slide the seat forward. We can then release the seat belt from this little gizmo here. We just slide that round in a fashion and out that comes. So that's out of the way. Pull it forward. We've got the 2 bolts at the back. That's one. There's 2 of them. And we slide the seat backwards again. We'll do the front 2 now. And with that we can now wiggle the seat out. There should be some heated wires as well under it. Let's just make sure. What we'll do, we'll roll it over that way. Careful of the wires, and we can leave that connected. But we can now get everything we need to dry this out. Yeah, so now we can do everything right. And if you come and have a look down here, it's a good job we did lift it up, because if we come down here now and lift this carpet up, you can actually see now, look, where the water has come down and gathered under there. It's got right through to that at the back, look. So yeah, let's get this all dried out. Okay, so the seats, that seat's pretty much, that's out of the way. We'll leave this connected, because if we do, it's got an airbag and stuff in there. It's got the heaters. We could pop it out, but I don't want to stand a chance of putting a fault in the ECU. So we'll leave that just hanging there. And we'll just whip this little centre out of this clip in the middle of the carpet. It's just holding the carpet again into place. We'll pop that one out. And yeah, you see, we can now get this. We can get this up. The only bit with water in it is literally this bit here that we can see. This bit's all dry down here. Got a bit of, there's just a bit of skank, I think, where they dropped something down the back there. But this is actually dry. So it is just round here where we seem to have the water gathered. But we'll get that out. Some good old-fashioned kitchen roll as well. Just soak up any. We'll go and get the blower, get the hairdryer in here, get this all dried out.
Luckily the wife's out, so I've managed to go and find her best Revlon hairdryer. I'm sure she won't mind until she comes to use it again, and it smells a bit damp and probably burnt out.
So we'll get that under there, get that drying out, we'll leave it there for a good while, get everything warmed up nicely.
Oh, it's Mother's Day soon. I might have to treat it to a new one. I do like them fancy Dyson ones. They look a bit cool.
Pop that up. There we go. We'll let that do its thing. We'll let that dry out for a half hour or so. Try and get rid of all that moisture in there.
You can really see that drying out now. I've got some steam coming off there. All that moisture, damp, drying up nice. Yeah, look at it, doing a good job. I mean, obviously you do have to be careful that it's you're not on full heat and it's going to melt the back of that carpet, and you know, make sure you've got good circulation in there.
Okie dokie, so we're all dried out underneath. All underneath here is as dry as a bone now, which is great. Yeah, so we finished off in here, all nice and dry. It's lovely now that. So let's get the seat back down again. We'll just pull that across. Gently does it. Again, just being careful not to trap any wires, and then we'll ease that back into position. Locating the front mounting there and get that back in nicely. We'll pop the 2 bolts in the front. So 2 bolts in the front. We'll just put them in loosely to start with. We're not going to wang them all the way in, and then we can put the back 2 in as well. If you put the 2 front ones in and then do them up tight and then move the chair, you'll find the back ones don't line up. So always just put 2 in. Get them in so far. Just get them started. Again, we'll slide it. Now we can put the front 2 have got to be done up tight first. So now I've got them all in. We can just bang those up nice and tight. And then finish off the back 2. 1, 2. So that's them all in nicely. We'll slide that seat back. Fantastic. Right then, let's get the carpet and the trim back down again. Oh, we've got that little we've got this little noggin that went in the middle of the carpet, so I'll pop that back in again. There we go. That's that down. Yes, it's beautiful now. That's lovely and dry. Okay, let's get this trim back in again. So we'll just tuck the carpet back underneath that and the back of that fuse box and the wire in. Get that tucked away there nicely. Oh, we've got those bits and bobs. We've got the 2 carpet clips that have got to go back in. So I've got one to go in just there. I'll push that one in. Like that, that's that one in, and the second one was further up here. That's that one in there. Now we can get this fuse box A pillar cover back in again. So we've just got the little pop clip there that's going to go in. We just tuck that in, get that in place. Like that. That over the wiring loom. That clips over there like that, and then push that back in again there. Pop that in. Lovely. Got one pop clip then that we took out here that's going to go back in through the and push the middle through. Put the cover back on. Back on there. We can refit this rubber trim. You just push that down and round. That's that all back in place. And then we can put the clippers trim back on again. You just line that back up again and then just tap it down And that's that all back in again as well, looking nice, good as gold. So that's that all back in nicely, all dried out, all the trims back in again. Let's go back to the front and refit that scuttle panel. So silicon's gone off nicely there. Let's get this trim back in again. So again, we've got just a couple of slidey clips on it that pop through, and these hook along the front. So let's try and feed this back in place. Come round there first. We'll slide that into position where it needs to be. And then you come in here, we'll tuck that underneath. Underneath there. Got these little clips that got it underneath the window screen. So just make sure they're under, then it all slides forward. And then we'll push those two together there, like that. We can reconnect this little washer jet. Push those two together. Make sure they're right up, and we'll tuck that back in again. That's all down nicely. Now these clip things here for this rubber, what you do with that is you feed one side in, pull it across, stretch it, and then put the other side in. So you put one side in, you pull it across, and then the other side will drop in. Same again, put it in, pull it across, a little bit fiddler. This one's playing a bit hard to get. There we go. And then the last two down here, put it in, pull it across. Might have to pop those ones through. Don't want to break these little clips off because they are small. We can manage it without breaking them. Yeah, there we go. And the last one. So as you can see, it's the elongator. What we're doing is stretching this to make the hole wider. So we put it in first side, we slide the first bit in, we then stretch it across and pull it back, and then it goes in. Look, happy days. Right, and last but not least, let's get this screw back in. So we push that into place, we'll pop the screw in, and then we'll whiz that down. Like so. And then we can pop his little cap back on again. Job's a good one. So that's the scuttle all back in again. Trims are good. So there we go, found out what the problem was. That little insert completely perished the rubber on it, leaking through there straight into that passenger footwell. We've dried the carpets out, we've sealed that plug up, put all the trims back on again, put the carpet back down. We need to take the seat out just to make sure that we've got all that water from underneath. Great job in the end. I'll put links in for the silicon gun, screwdrivers, tools, all in the description. MX5 lives on to fight another day, cracking little motor. Thanks for watching. Drop me a little thumbs up, like, subscribe.